Hi, Joël.
Hi,
Thank you for having accepted our invitation to join our
my pleasure.
conversation. So, could you tell us a little bit how um, this inner being or inner guidance is unfolding within yourself? How does it make you choosing some path, some ways to do things?
I think it was always there, but over the years you start realizing more that I did some, like that it's something you need to listen to. So I did a test at some point.
Okay.
All the big decisions in my life, I went past those, and then I checked if it was an intuitive decision or a mental decision, and all the intuitive decisions went well. I mean, were successful, and also formed a line. Like they were coherent, and the mental decisions were usually wrong decisions, and that doesn't mean that I fully trust the my intuition, as I call it. Um, but I did do the after calculation, like
Okay.
the decision to move to India, this decision to make a world trip to China, that kind of things. I never really planned anything. It just, I need to do this. I'm going to do this, and then it happened, and it went well. So
Okay, so do I understand correctly that at some point you created some tests within yourself to know how to take good decisions and to have good behavior,
well, good behavior, like successful behavior, as in, it was when I decided not to buy a certain house, because of all kinds of reasons, and then it turned out to be actually a good decision. I should have done that. My intuition said do it, and then we didn't. And then because I was afraid and I calculated, and I was going like, well, but this can go wrong and this can go wrong, and I should have just followed my intuition and do it. And
okay,
then I decided to go back and decide, like, look at other ones. And then I realized that it's always a good decision when I do intuitive decisions.
okay. So does it mean that in your life there was both some from the very beginning in your lifespan there was both these two possibilities,
Yeah.
something which is more reasonable and something which is more deeper or intuitive, and as life was going on you find a way to distinguish, to discriminate clearly these
Yeah, to
two
tweak it.
possibilities.
Yeah. So when I was, even when I was studying, I, you have this choice, and you're way too young to make this choice.
Yeah,
You're not even, 16 or something when you make to, and even earlier. You are like 12 when you have to decide which grades you do. So I couldn't decide, so I kept it open. But then at the end, I went to university and I had the choice: law or economics or Chinese sinology. And then sinology was a completely irrational, non-coherent decision, because the other two were going to be successful, going to be, easy. Well, you have to do the work, but that's it. But I would never have done the Chinese anymore. So I decided to do the Chinese, because why would it come up? Why would I think of sinology? There's no one in my family, there's no
yeah.
links, anything. So I decided to do that. And I've never really done anything with it, but it's been very successful. So, and I had to do one of the other ones afterwards anyway. So,
Okay, and nowadays, could we say that it's the way that you are relating to this inner guidance is something that you practice or you reinforce, or is it something natural now? You just have to wait a little bit and go on, or sometimes you have to practice a specific.
when I do, when I have like a difficult decision and I feel what I want to do, then I usually wait until the next day, and then I know. I sleep on it, and it comes. or I already know, and then I sleep on it still to, you know, like solidify it a little, and then I just do it.
Okay.
So nothing too rational, because it is too rational already in
And
itself.
this inner guidance, could you say that it's? Could you put a shape on it, or could you try to define it a little bit?
Well, yeah, it sounds a bit weird, but sometimes it does take a shape of even someone and images and um, um, what do you call those, epiphanies or visions or things like that. And then like my decision to come to India was like that. I didn't know about Auroville. I didn't even know about Pondicherry. I just knew I wanted to leave Belgium. That came to me in an epiphany, basically. And then I needed to go, and I needed to go to India. That was it. That's all I knew. And then I asked my yoga teacher, where I was studying Hatha Yoga for 10 years. I want to go do yoga in India. I didn't know which kind of yoga. And he said, why don't you go to my, where he was taught at the Bihar Institute of Yoga. But then that was practically impossible because timing and everything. So I asked him, and he said, why don't you go to Pondicherry? There's a nice ashram. No name, no Aurobindo, no nothing, just that. And so we did. I booked a ticket, I booked an Airbnb. I didn't even book transport from the airport. I got to the house automatically where I needed to be. The first place where we asked where we needed, where about the house with the taxi driver, was in front of the house. It was weird. So these things happen. So you start counting on them also. Like nothing can really go wrong. Because when you're doing something like this, then it is all automatic and fluent, and it just happens.
Okay. So you mean that the inner guidance is not necessarily something that comes from within ourselves, but it could also be channeled by a lot of circumstances, people, everything around you.
I think you're inviting it. So I have this, what I want, and then, or what I want, what I think I need to do, what I feel is the right thing to do, and then all the rest of the things around just fall into place.
Okay.
So I don't have to do anything.
But when you say you invite things to happen, does it mean that you put yourself in a specific mood, position, openness? How could you describe that?
I would say like a void or something, like a vacuum where you invite it to, and then it comes, and then it will say what needs to be said or what I need to do. And then I just listen, and it all goes well. Yeah.
Okay. And could you say that the more you practice, the more this practice of yours becomes more sharp, more well defined, more accurate, more spontaneous? Could you say?
Yeah, but then I wonder if it's spontaneous or if it's, because I talked to Vladimir about this, no, about these visions and all, and are they self-created or not? Because they could be, and if they could be, are they? So I'm working on those things, and also reading a lot about what Sri Aurobindo wrote, because every time I open one of his books, it's frustrating how it appeals to me. You know, like it feels like I thought I knew this already. All of this is not new to me. So it already existed. It's like I'm kind of jealous that he already put it on paper. It's sad. No,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
You read it and you agree with everything. You page after page after page. I'm now reading about the Mahabharata and his way of, he was going into the, what do you call it? Of course, more than one person wrote it, but what's the core story? And that's also something that when they told me about this, it went like, okay, I want to know about this. And then he went and wrote a book about it.
Yeah.
It's not fair. No? No.
Okay. Back to
Yes.
your.
But those things confirm me in my belief
absolutely.
that it's correct, and the experiences confirm me in you should just follow the flow. And if you stay in the flow, you know how to stay in the flow, and if you know how to stay in the flow and you're there, everything goes smooth, everything's happening. Even bad things happen, but they don't pull you out. If they do, you know how to get back in.
Yeah.
So it's easier to follow this. Don't resist, I would say.
I would like to come back a little bit with your childhood, teenagerhood. Was it some significant moment that now it looks like you have some kind of conscious relationship with this inner guidance? But could you say that in your childhood or when you were a teenager, there was some spontaneous raising of this guidance within yourself?
Yeah, but there was a kind of a coincidence, I would say. So I used to have an alarm clock, you know, the one with the flipping pages and like these numbers that have those, and the repeat was 9 minutes, and I would not want to wake up because at that age, you know, like 15, 16, you only want to sleep, and so this thing was waking me up every 9 minutes, and then I would go back deep enough to go back into the dream I was in, but light enough to be aware of what I was dreaming. So I started to do this, what do you call, lucid dreaming.
Lucid dreaming.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think that had a lot of to do with it. Because you become aware of this zone where you can manipulate reality, like you're in a bubble, but you can't push too hard because it's like a soap bubble, it might pop, and then you're awake, and too bad, you have to start over again. And the next show is the next morning only now. So only when you sleep can you go to this.
Okay.
And then I started to, you can do this just like this. I only did it when I woke up, but then I started doing it in other moments as well.
Okay, so it became some kind of practice also?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been doing that for many years.
Yeah. And today, besides this inner guidance, do you have some specific practice? Do you, meditate or...
Yeah, I have this routine, but I'm a, well, let's say lazy person. So I have many pieces of my routine, and I kind of reward myself for when I do one, and I keep track of those also, because I would forget about it. Like if I do my exercise, then I write an E on my calendar. If I do reading, then I write an R. If I do writing, I do the copy of the Gita, and then if I've done that, that's a big thing, because that's one of the main things that I do. And so every time I do something, I reward myself like, well done. If I don't do them, like none of them for that day, too bad.
Okay.
Another chance tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow will be another day.
Yeah.
Regarding the practice and regarding the way that you are living today, could you say that there are some traps or some threats or some bias about your personality that might prevent you to follow this inner guidance? If we could say that the more you live, the more you can be connected with this inner being, but still there's something that might prevent you, or is it something that happens in your life?
Well, I'm easily distracted, so yes, that is one of the biggest
so
problems.
entertainment, let's say.
No, anything can distract me.
Okay.
Like there was a black cat just walking there, and then and I got it. So, but then I go back to the. So I am aware of these things, and I try to not do these things. But sometimes it's just fun. I just have like, so what? Is that a problem? No. Am I doing my job? Yes. So am I disturbing anyone? Probably. And is that their problem? I think so. You know, I'm trying to be a good person, and are they? So I'm not really sure, but honestly, no, I'm just trying to be myself.
Yeah.
And you have goals, you know what you're doing. After these years, you know, after so many years, you know that you're a good person. Enough people told me I'm a good person, so I believe them now. You know, in the beginning you go like, wow, I might be a bad person.
I can confirm that you're a good person. Okay.
See, there we go. Another one.
Is there anything you would like to add to conclude?
Well, practice. I think a lot of people do have a routine and they beat themselves up if they don't do the full routine or something. I think it's very healthy not to do that, to just do whatever you can.
Okay.
Today I did the 3 things, I'm very happy. I didn't do the right thing, well, too bad. I might do it tomorrow. And then I think that is the best. And try lucid dreaming. It's fun.
Yeah. This will be another interview.
Yes, but it's part of it, huh?
Yeah.
I think it's related because it opens you up to the possibilities. You see things that you are not really. That makes it easier to accept when something else comes. You go like, ah, wow, sounds similar. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. That was it.
Thank you. Thank you, Joël.